everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have been absent for a little while. I've been very busy, but things are starting to settle down and ArtPrize is almost over. So I thought I would take a little bit of time to talk about my ArtPrize piece and show some of the installation of it as well as the piece and also talk about it. So here we go. I first exhibited this piece, When You Look at Me, Can You Tell I'm Sick, in 2019. Then again in 2022, similar piece at DeVos. My husband has bipolar disorder. He was diagnosed when I was in grad school.
Here we are,
so that's
at
where this
DeVos.
started.
I have my medicine cabinets all installed. I'll show you how they look. They look pretty lovely.
This year I wanted to add more to the narrative on mental health that I had already been presenting. I cut it down to 5 medicine cabinets. Can you tell I'm sick? Got the medicine cabinets back out. I got the bottles glued back in. I had to redo this one. This one said at, and I changed it to tell because the medicine cabinet that had you, it was big, and I just wanted them all to be the same. So here's the viral video that I posted on TikTok. It did go viral. It has like 82,000 views or something. It's crazy. But this was the additional element that I added. It was the giant prescription bottles. I had to really search to find a place to provide me with something that would look like a giant prescription bottle, and I'm really happy with how these turned out. The banners you can see in the foreground of this video are something that I made for ArtPrize 2022, which was also at DeVos. They have a hanger system, so nothing could go into the walls. I had Mod Podged my husband's poetry up on the walls in the first incarnation of When You Look at Me, Can You Tell I'm Sick? And it didn't come off well. So I knew I couldn't do that again. So that's that element. And then this is me re-gluing the medicine bottles into the cabinets, again with the construction adhesive at the last minute before loading up my car, which I always feel like is a big deal, especially loading up for ArtPrize. Driving to Grand Rapids, I'm not a big fan of driving in the city, but it is getting easier, and ArtPrize is a really prestigious art contest, and they have art events going on all throughout the city. It just lasts about 3 weeks. This is my third time being in it, so it was a big honor. I was very excited. And that painting that you see me trying to fit into my car, also, I have a friend who bought this painting, and she paid me half of the money last year, and then we sort of tried to connect for a year, and finally I was like, hey, I'm going back to Grand Rapids for ArtPrize, so why don't I bring this painting? Let's meet up. And so it worked out, which was really great. So I also got to sell a painting. I got to see my friend who I hadn't seen in a really long time, like since our kids were babies. So I'm at DeVos. This is my space, number 3. Just getting set up. I am in need of a ladder here, but we'll see what else we can do. We needed to do a little more gluing. But yeah. I got permission from Eddie Tadlock, the curator of DeVos, to take this video, so I recorded the entire installation of this piece. Still here. It took kind of a lot longer than I expected it would. When I installed my piece in DeVos the first time, the When You Look at Me, Can You Tell I'm Sick piece, I had a friend there with me who helped me install, and I didn't have as high of a ceiling to work with. I was grateful that he gave me this space. It was a good space for this piece. It really allowed me to put the banners all the way up. I had wanted to put them so they were kind of stair-stepping down and going onto the floor, which I did. And I'm really happy with how it came out. But as far as the installation of this piece went, it just took a long time. Mostly it was hanging the wires, getting the wires up there on the ladder, dealing with the ladder, coming down, dealing with the wires, kind of figuring out how they worked again. I had to be shown and given some instruction, even though I'd worked with them before. It had been a year. So I used the wires for DeVos the first time. And then last year I was in Monroe Community Church. I had my Cityscape series. I think it was 12 or 13. I think it was 12 paintings, 12 Cityscape paintings that I hung there. So again, using the wire system, but still, it was a year ago. So anyways, this process took quite a while. And during this process, I kept checking my phone because people were messaging me, and one of them was my friend who I was trying to meet up with, and I thought we were going to meet for lunch, which would have been fantastic because I was very hungry. But in the end, it ended up that we didn't have time to do that because she had unexpected visitors, and you know how it goes. But she lives quite close to DeVos, so it was easy for her to run over and meet with me at least. And we got to see each other, and she got to see my piece as I was installing it. I think I hadn't gotten that much of it up yet, but it was still good. It was really good to see her. So the difference between this piece and the last piece is that this piece is called Still Here. And instead of just sort of focusing on the idea of mental illness and other invisible illnesses, as the previous two incarnations of this piece did, this piece was about the continuing struggle of mental illness and how after you get diagnosed and you go through all of the effort and trouble of getting on the correct prescriptions for your particular mental illness and your particular brain chemistry and all of that, which is definitely no small task, you're not done. You have this lifelong mental illness that is going to be part of your life that you have to continue to deal with. So sometimes the prescriptions run out unexpectedly and you have to call the doctor and you have to get them, or maybe you missed a dose and you have a bad day, and maybe you have a bad week, and it's a struggle. It's a continuing process. And so that is what this piece was all about. That's why I added the prescription bottles. That's also why the lithium there's only 2 left falling out. Oh, there's me and my friend. And she met up with me, and here's me back at work again, putting up the banners. So as you can see, once I finally got to putting up the banners, it went a lot faster. It was just getting those wires in place was so difficult. I had to push them into place up there. I had this little mirror, a little like pocket mirror that I was using. I broke the glass inside, but it was hard enough to press it. I just couldn't do it with my hands alone. It was very frustrating. But once I got the banners up, I was just trying to straighten them out and make sure they were stair stepping down the way that I wanted them to. Like that part, it just all went so much faster after that point. And they had told me that. They said probably get the wires up first because I had one banner, and then they're like, okay, this is what you want to do. So anyways, that's what I did. So as you can see, hanging the medicine cabinets actually went pretty quickly too. And then I borrowed a level from Eddie Tadlock and got them all leveled and put up the prescription bottles. And I think I just kind of went through and checked everything. Oh yeah, I was leveling and making sure
It's finished.
Right.
It's all done. So I'll show you. You can peek inside a couple of them and you'll see yourself.
So there's the title. There's the hills coming out.
And you can peek in this one too.
So once I had it all up, I went back about a week later. I went back on the first Saturday, and I stood by my piece for about 3.5 hours, and I talked to people about the piece, the meaning behind it, the idea of the continuing struggle with the mental illness, and I got some really great responses. I also had a lot of people share their stories with me, and overall, it felt like a really great experience. I'm so glad that I did this.
So with that last clip, I was just trying to show you what Davos looked like when it was full of people. It was really busy, but it was great. I'm a shy person, and like I mentioned, I don't like driving the city. I'm nervous talking to strangers, but at the same time, being an artist and doing this work and doing these projects, especially this kind of project, has made me get out of my shell. I mean, I just had no choice. And part of ArtPrize is that you stand in front of your piece and you talk to people when they walk by, and they get to know you, and then they're hopefully more likely to vote for you. I've never won an award. I don't imagine that I will, but maybe one day. And the prestige of going is still good. So I just stood right in front of my piece, and some people talked to me, some people didn't. But I really did have some great interactions with people, and it felt so good. Like at first I thought, oh, this reminds me of art fairs, where I'll be standing there at my booth and people will come and look at my work, and a lot of times people won't talk to me at all, and I'll feel like, oh gee. But usually people say, oh, I really like your work, it's colorful, it's bright, whatever, which is nice. But ArtPrize was different because I was already vetted. I was already an artist in ArtPrize. So that I was an artist wasn't in question. It was just, here's my work, and do people want to talk to me about it? So it was nice. It was different. Anyways, wanted to share that all with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, etc. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!